Hey guys, I'm Sean Thompson, and I'm a fully ordained Buddhist minister here at the IOBM, or actually here at the Centered Path, which is my center where we teach and learn about Buddhism and chanting and prostrations and meditation and the Dharma and all of that kind of stuff, and really the basics of Buddhism, and try to put them into a basic daily life stuff. And the other part is I teach as an adjunct professor at a college. I teach anatomy and physiology. So we're going to combine the two today, and we're going to go over how a mantra, this one mantra, the Tara mantra, which we'll talk about the Tara in a moment, and physiology work together to actually help you keep from getting sick. So let's go over what happened recently in the news. The Dalai Lama just responded with a statement after this virus outbreak in China and now all over the world that if they chant the Tara mantra, then they would be not immune from, but it would be harder to get or harder to spread, or it wouldn't spread, or you wouldn't get the virus. I think people kind of flipped out and they were like, oh, what magic and what nonsense this is. But there's some actual physiology involved. And let's go over kind of what's happening here. Now, the green Tara or the white Tara or the black Tara or the red Tara are all deities in Tibetan Buddhism. We don't see them we don't see them in Zen Buddhism, and we don't see them in a lot of Chinese Buddhism, and we don't see them in Korean Buddhism, and we don't see them in Theravada Buddhism at all. But we do see them in the Tibetan groups, as well as you see some of the same deities in Hinduism. So you can think of the deities as protectors. Now they're conceptual protectors also, but they're protectors of the mind, the body, and speech. And one of the things that we do when we repeat a mantra or some kind of chant, it does protect the mind, the body, and the speech. And here's how. That repetition in the mind, that repetition in the speech, will actually change the brain waves. Right now we're in beta, kind of like alive and awake. And this will go into if you do it a lot, you'll feel it too. You'll sense this. You'll go into an alpha state of very good relaxation, and maybe in deeper states too at times. And you'll notice those because things will happen to you, like you'll become very kind of like drowsy and warm and fuzzy feeling, and you'll also maybe drool a lot, which is the parasympathetic system kind of taking over. Now, let's go into how this all works. So the chant itself, okay, is Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Okay, so Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Notice how you can feel the T's push a little bit of air down into the lungs. You can feel the vibration in the chest, in the bronchial tubes. These are the tubes from the trachea, so you have the sinuses up through here. In the sinuses, we also have areas called sinuses, the adenoids, and the lymph tissue that's in there, the tonsils. There we go. There's 3 sets of tonsils, and we also have lymph nodes all through the side of the neck and down and through here. Now, what those are supposed to do, that's the lymphatic system, or the immune system's kind of like forts or stations where they can protect stuff coming in. Now, where's the virus going to come in? Usually through the eyes, nose, and mouth. Okay, we're going to breathe it in. We're going to inhale it. As far as we know so far, it's airborne. This is why people are wearing masks, and now they're saying the masks don't work. And this is why people wash their hands and wash their face, and they're saying that doesn't work. So what does work? Well, a combination of all the 3. Of course, you've got to wash your hands. Of course, you've got to, be careful of who you're sneezing on and who's sneezing on you and coughing on you and things like that. And cover your mouth when you cough. And when you sneeze, you can use this one here. You do the dab. Or you can do, hold a handkerchief and just make sure that you're clean. Now, of course, staying out of crowded areas, this is another one. Areas where a lot of people are sick. Don't go to places where people are sick. That makes sense. If you're sick, don't go to places where people are healthy and make them sick. So you try to stay in. Now, what else can you do? Well, you can do some contemplations. Meditation is not going to ever hurt you. Any doctor who tells you not to do it, I think should reconsider, because if it can't hurt you, it can absolutely help you. And here's what's happening. When you speak the words, now we're not going to talk about the esoteric meaning of these words and what it means and what you're doing, which we will in a minute. But when you're speaking the words Om Tare Tu Tare Okay, hear those soha. Hear those words. There's a lot of changes in where that inflection comes from in the chest, and you can play with it as you chant it. Om, way up here. Okay, tare, in through this area. Tu, down low. Tare, so, ha. You can do this to kind of change where it comes from, and that changes the vibration, not a magical vibration. It actually vibrates. You can feel it. Om tare tu re so ha. You can feel that. That increases blood flow. That increases lymph flow. It increases muscle movement in these areas, which also improves lymphatic flow back down. It improves the tonsil movement and flow of the fluids inside, okay, which is blood and lymph and stuff like that. Now, as we get into the chest, as we're breathing, we're moving the rib cage, increasing and decreasing the size of the rib cage itself, and that helps move the tissues in there. There's some tissues called the parietal pleura and the visceral pleura, and in between it is an area called the pleural space, and you get pleuritis or pleurisy or something like that. This has a little fluid in there that is only made when it moves. So if it doesn't move well, it doesn't make enough fluid, and it can get a little sticky, and then can get a little weak. So we're increasing that fluid. Now, if we're using more of the diaphragm, we're pushing down and up as we breathe in and we move the breath. Then we're also getting, the diaphragm is a big muscle under here, by the way. We're getting the digestive organs to actually be moved back and forth, and this also helps with getting the parasympathetics working and turning off the sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system, we're going to go over all 11 systems in the body at some point with related to stress and related to meditation, prostration, mantra, and chanting. So we'll go over those and how they work, and even what sound does and what that energy kind of field does. And we talk about chi energy. Now, I work also as an acupuncturist and a chiropractor, so I'm working a lot with those kind of energies in the body, as well as the physical kind of parts to it. But, so here we go back again to the Om Tare Tu Tare, Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Sohar. So this Tara mantra. Now you can do another one too. There's the green, not the green one, that's a green Tara. But you can go over, there's a bluer Buddha statue, which is called the Medicine Buddha, and the Bekanze. So you can do Tayata Om Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Ranzu Samu Gate Soha. So you can do that whole one too, and that's a really nice one as well. It changes even more. I like doing these like in the shower. It's a very nice place you can do it. You get great acoustics, you sound better, and you're getting more good, clean, moist air coming in. Hopefully it's clean air, but you're getting good, moist air, warmed air. This helps all of the passages of the sinuses, the nasal pharynx, the oral pharynx, the laryngeal pharynx, all the way down the trachea, into the bronchioles, into the lung lobes, and all this kind of stuff. As we can increase our breathing motions, we increase the movement of toxins out and oxygens in. And this is good. This is what our body uses to do all of its functions. It needs some things like sugars that it gets from the foods, but it also needs oxygen, which it uses to burn that sugar, to help you build blood cells, for example, or maintain tissues, or fix tissues, or transport things. You know, the better things move, the better things move. And when we have movement in any of the fluids and movement in any of the tissues, that's good. It tends to wash in the good new things and wash out the bad and old. So this is Reverend Sean, I guess you could say, but this is Dr. Sean. I'm a fully ordained Buddhist minister here through the IOBM, the International Order of Buddhist Ministers, and through the Southern California Sangha Council back in 2006. So I've been doing this for quite a while. I've been teaching for over 10 years with anatomy and physiology, and I've been working with meditation and chanting, prostrations, and Buddhism for well over 25 years. So the whole thing, I really got interested in stress and stuff about 30 years ago when I was in college. So we'll go over that at another time, but right now, go ahead and subscribe and let me know what you think. And if there's anything else I can explain for you, let me know. We'll go over that. I have, like I said, we're going to go over all 11 body organ systems and how they relate to stress and meditation, and I'll give like specific examples on how those work. So, again, this is Rev Sean at the Center Path. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Do your chanting. Om tare tu re so ha. You can look them up on YouTube. I'll see if I can leave a link for some of the cool ones that I like. It doesn't matter how you sing it. It doesn't matter if you can sing, because I can't. And it just matters that you say it repetitively and continually. Now, over a minute or 3 or 5, that's where you're going to start seeing the benefits. Okay, you do this for 20 minutes, you will see the benefits. You'll notice it. You're going to be warmer. You're going to have a lot of change in that energy. You're going to have a change in the way the vibrational sounds and the vibrational feel inside your chest. You're going to feel that energy moving. You're going to feel a little bit more healthy. You watch, you'll see, and you're going to feel way more calm. So go ahead. Don't worry about what it all means. We'll get into that at another time. You don't have to worry about that. It's not going to cause you any problem. If you're not Buddhist, it's not going to make you Buddhist. It's not going to make you a non-Buddhist. So don't worry about that kind of thing. We're just trying to, find something. You can chant wheelbarrow if you want to. Hubcap. I don't care. I mean, it doesn't really matter. If you find something that's useful for you and helpful and a word that's calming, makes way more sense. Now, I always prefer to have things that I do understand. Okay, so Om Tare Tu Tare, what is it? Ture Soha. It has to do with invoking that presence of that deity. Now, the deity of the Tara means star. Okay, the green Tara, for example, is usually for like homes and businesses and health and happiness and stuff like that. It's a protector. We have like protectors, Kalas and Mahakalas, and then you have saints and arhants and all of this kind of stuff. Very similar to Christianity and Catholicism, where they have our guardian angels and archangels and saints and stuff like that. So we have the same kind of thing going on in Buddhism. And it's okay. It's fine. We don't see it in some of the Theravada stuff or the Zen stuff because they're dealing with some other things in the universe and the world. But it's fine. Okay, you can use it. It's a tool you can use. It doesn't change much for you in any bad way ever. Okay, but if you understand what it is, and we're just calling forth this deity, which culturally, okay, and historically has been used, and people understand, and they see the picture of the green Tara, they feel like, okay, that's a protector. When I think in my mind, that's a protector, the brain goes into this mode of being protected. It goes into acceptance mode of being protected, which is actually, calming, and that's, helpful. If you knew the good guys were coming, you feel better, you feel emboldened, you feel happier, you feel lighter. And this is what we want to feel with the Tara Mandala. The Tara Mandala, not the Tara Mandala. The Tara Mantra. So, or any of them, the Medicine Buddha. I don't know why I keep going back and forth to that. There's a lot of colors involved in this too. And the colors are important. The colors are just as important because those are visualization cues. We have visualization cues. We have auditory cues. We have movement cues. You'll see those sometimes in Tibetan Buddhism. We're not going to go over those. But we see the speech cues, of course, and thought cues. So all of the different 5 senses, the sounds, the sights, even the smell, if you have a certain incense to use and only use it during when you do these kind of meditations, is good because that increases that anchoring mentally and neurologically of what's going on, what you're doing. These are all really good for meditation. So there we go, all done. So let's go and meditate and go and do your chanting and do your mantras and all this kind of stuff, and go look for some things to do good and have a wonderful day, and may you be happy.